awful things in the last 4 years. I took over from my parents. They retired, and I wanted to keep the business going and, you know, just have fun with the kids. We love our community, had a good support over the last 40 years. And then this thing called COVID hit. I was just in the business 3 years, so, you know, we've got bills, mortgage, all that stuff.
KIDWELL.
And then aside from that, I've been a full-time nurse in ICU and surgery for the last 30 years. So when COVID hit, I was like, this is crazy, this is the flu, you know, so we stayed open. I didn't mandate masks. I work in surgery. I know what masks are for. I know that they are ineffective against COVID, different flus and stuff like that, so I was like, you know what, I'm not worried about it. I want the kids to interact with each other and have normal lives. I had a lot of parents come in and say, you know what, this is a piece of heaven. These kids come in here and they're not worried about they can forget about being adults. They don't have to deal with the adult stuff. We're coming in here to be kids, relax, interact with each other, have human contact. We're not meant to live apart, 6 feet apart, not touch each other or give hugs. I'm considered one of the moms in the community because a lot of my kids, probably 75% of them, come from broken homes, no homes, latchkey kids, raised by grandparents, have drug addicted or imprisoned parents, and so they come to us for support. So between me and my daughter and her husband, we're counselors. We play with the kids, we help guide them in decisions, and then COVID came and shut us down. I was visited by the Berrien County Sheriff's Department, and she came in and with her mask on and stayed way away from me. I tried to introduce myself and shake her hand. She didn't want nothing to do with that. And she said, I'm giving you a warning from the Berrien County Health Department. This is a misdemeanor, and you'll have to answer to this in 10 to 14 days. Okay, so she left. I stayed open the whole rest of the weekend. That was a Friday night. So with that being said, my dad's been in law enforcement as an officer for 40-some years. I took it to him and he said, are you kidding me? You don't even have a speeding ticket. And now you're looking at a misdemeanor. This isn't a joke. You need to close things down. And my dad is of the utmost respect to this day. Would never say anything harsh to that man. But I said, you know what, Dad? I'm not doing it. I'm opening next Friday. I don't know what to tell you. If they take me to jail, the rest of my staff will run my business. But I'm not. This is ridiculous. This is all for nothing. So next Friday, we opened and 3 deputies came in and surrounded me. I have kids crying, am I going to jail? They were worried about me and stuff. And they're looking around and I asked them to leave. And she said, if you are here next weekend, you're going to jail. So, okay. So I stayed open, they left. And we stayed open Friday and Saturday, and then we opened again the following weekend. So that's when I was served papers by the county. The county was suing me for being a super spreader and endangering the lives of thousands of people in Berrien County. Well, for one, I didn't know my little skating rink was that important that I had 1,000 people in Berrien County exposed from me. But so they said you have to get an attorney, and they're seeking action against you. So from the misdemeanor, I was put on a $5,000 personal bond. I couldn't leave the state of Michigan, and I had a hearing coming up. So I had to hire an attorney. We're already broke because I just bought the business, and we have bills stacking up, and I'm looking at a closure, a mandated closure. So they came, we had an emergent hearing. They haven't had court held in person in over a year. So when I was made to show up in person in court in front of, help me, Judge Wiley, he came in and commented that, wow, I haven't seen the inside of my courtroom in over a year. This is awesome. And so I was made a spectacle of between the Sheriff Bailey and, thank you, and Judge Wiley. So I was set as an example, I feel like. So they continued to belittle me the whole entire 3.5 hours we were in court. Mind you, I had to sit 6 feet from my attorney until the Berrien County Health Department lady came and sat right next to the attorney who was representing Berrien County. And my attorney said, well, if they're doing it, we're doing it. So he pulled me closer to him, but they were doing photo ops and everything else. It's quite comical. If you go on their website, you can actually watch my hearing. So I came out of that with, I had 2 options. One option wasn't an option. My doors were to be chained shut with a padlock until further notice from that day forward. If I was going on my own property that I owned, then I would be arrested on the spot. If they couldn't catch up with me, I would be issued a warrant for my arrest. If I was to go on my property, I had to be with some licensed professional that was going to fix my roof or something like that. If I was caught in my own business skating with my daughter or any other family member, they had the right to come in to arrest me off my own property. And then on top of that, they slammed me with a $15,000 fine. So, thank you, Tammy Clark.
Yes.
She heard about it. She got in touch with me. She knew we did a freedom skate a couple weekends before that and put Stand Up Michigan. The kids got free entrance at the door if they brought me a poster. So my whole entire business is lined with posters that the kids made for Freedom of America. Stand Up Michigan. And the right to do what you want to do with your own body, you choose. So we padlocked our doors. We were down for probably 3 months or so padlocked with no word because now we can't get back into the court system. They gave me 6 months in order to pay the $15,000 fine when I went to see Judge Wiley again. And if I did anything outside of his rules, which were, if they called me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I had to allow Berrien County sheriffs and the health department to come in and inspect my business to make sure I was doing nothing illegal or had gained access to it at all. So that was one of the criteria, and a list of 10 other things that was totally barbaric as far as I'm concerned with freedoms of just being a U.S. citizen. So Tammy Clark put me on the spot, interviewed me. They set up a GoFundMe account, and we raised $15,000 for the fine in 4 days.
Yes.
If any of you are in the healthcare profession, it's pretty humbling because we are here to take care of other people. We're not here to be taken care of. So it was hard to accept that, but we did use the money. We got back in front of Judge Wiley. We told him that his fines were ridiculous. They were not within the ethical COVID fines because it was like I had rats running on my counters at the rink. That's what the fine was based off of. And he upheld the $15,000. That I was in court on Wednesday. This was just 3 weeks ago. I had to pay the $15,000 by Friday or bring my toothbrush and get comfy in jail for 93 days. So being a single parent and running a business of my own, and I recently resigned from the hospital because they wanted me to have the COVID jab. Thank you, I appreciate that. And having, at a young age of 45, already had a stroke. That happened just 3 months before they padlocked my doors. I was already looking at a hardship. So I knew with the COVID jab, that would probably kill me. I've had my stroke, everybody else can have theirs.
2012, right here.
Next one, I'm afraid where I'll be.
18.
So, with that being said, I was looking at what do I do? I'm financial, helping my daughter. They're starting out. They just got married, and then we run our own business. So I couldn't. We also have a farm. We rescue horses, and so we've got our plate pretty full. So I couldn't go to the Berrien County Hotel for 93 days and sit there, which would be nice, not to work or anything. But anyway, that's another story. So here we are today. I was honored when Stand Up Michigan called and asked me to speak in front of all of you. I don't have anything to share with you except my story, and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody else. You know, we're out the money, and that's not the issue. We had an attorney that and I had people call and ask me, why didn't you just ask for the public to help pay your bills instead of go through all of that and rack up a fine? And I said, that's not the point. The point is I believe in something. I want people to educate themselves on how the government can intrude in on your business and tell you what to do. And when you say it's easy as that, well, just conform and then go on about your business. It'll all blow over. It's not blowing over. It's not going anywhere, and I'm fearing that we're in the midst of another shutdown. I don't know if we'll last through it, you know, my business. And it's all for what? People just don't want to educate themselves. But I will say this, Berrien County has been awesome. And South Bend, I do a lot with South Bend too, Indiana people. I want to thank all my patrons that have come back. As soon as I took the padlocks off the doors, we were swamped. We bounced back. I've met a lot of awesome people. There's several in this room, including Tammy Clark and some other my patrons I see here that are regular customers. And then I've met a lot of new people that have come in and said, you know what? You don't know me, I don't know you, but I want to shake your hand because you stood up for what you believed. Took time to listen to my story, and I appreciate all your support. I really do. Thank you.